Hey guys, this is my first actual YouTube video, but I'm gonna show you guys how to make a pretty cheap fish bait trap out of a pop bottle. Alright, so the first couple things you're gonna need is a pop bottle and a knife. Alright, and one of the first things you should do, you don't have to, but I like to, is I like to cut the label off, so I'm gonna do that. Alright, and so now you'll probably actually want to wash that out, but you don't need to watch me do that, so I'll just show you what you do after that. Which is, the way I like to do it is I like to poke a hole in it. See if I can do that with this knife. I lost my normal knife, so I just got this. And there you go, just pops right through. And then you're just going to want to kind of cut the top part out. This part's kind of loud though, so just make sure you're not going to annoy anyone, really, I guess. Alright, at this point, you can usually just kind of twist it and pull it. There you go. Alright, I'm going to go wash it. Alright, so as you can see, the label's off, I cut it, and it's all washed. Here's everything we've used so far. And so the next part, you're probably going to want to take the cap off now, if you already haven't done so. Just take the cap off, just set that aside. And now what you're going to do, well, what you could do is you could just fit it right in there, just like that. And then you could poke some holes into it, or you can just poke the holes in it and then put it in. It really just depends on your preferences, really. I like to try and not make too many holes in here, just a couple. So yeah, gonna do that now. You don't want to make them too small because then water won't really go in, but you don't want to make them too big because then the fish can get out. Also, you might probably want to watch what you're cutting, like beneath your pop bottle. This is just my bedroom carpet, so it doesn't really matter to me. It's just carpet. Alright, and then after you cut this, you're going to want to make lots of holes in here. So yeah, it really doesn't matter if you have a lot of holes in here. So you still don't want them, like you still need them the right size. And what I like to do is just kind of poke a hole and then leave it slanted like that and then push it. But this is a little more dangerous because if the knife slides, you could poke yourself. Well, stab yourself. So, yeah, if you're not really experienced with knives, you probably don't want to do that. Otherwise, you can just do it like that. Just kind of push down and leave a little hole. It's actually probably easier to do that way. Let's do it each way. Here. It gets harder the farther back you get. So after a while, you're going to just want to kind of put it up like this and then poke a couple holes in the actual bottom. What I like to do is I like to poke a hole and then slide it up some and then pull the knife out. It just leaves bigger holes, but they're more like little slits so the fish won't get out. But it's only really easy to do that on the bottom. Kind of similar to when I did it, the angled thing. But yeah, so now I got my holes. And yeah. Alright, so I just put the knife away and I got some tape. I don't think it really matters what kind of tape you use, just as long as it'll stick. But yeah, I've got some electric tape here, which is the first thing I saw. So I'm going to demonstrate one of the ways you can put this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it inside, just enough to stay in to where both like ends kind of match. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like as you can see here, the outer layer comes out a little more than the inner layer. But that's just, it doesn't really matter, and it really just depends on how you cut it. I didn't cut it too perfect. Alright, so another way is you could poke some holes in here and then run some fishing line through there or something. I bet you could probably even melt it together, but that's not as good as this, I would say, because I'll show you why. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape here. And actually, I don't know, I'll probably just be able to rip it. Here, let me try. Yeah, I ripped it. Alright. So, yeah, really, just kind of put it on the side here. And then just kind of run it along the inside there. And then maybe even add a couple more to it. Just to be safe. And so there you go. Also, if you're going to tape it, you might want to actually wait till it's dry or wipe it off with a towel or something. I didn't. But yeah, if you do put a lot of tape, try and put it close together. Because what I like to do is I like to make it so it'll open up when I need it to. It just helps to get the fish out better. And then you can just close it up like so. Just make sure you don't get it stuck. Hold on, I don't see how this is stuck. It's right here. Oh, it's one of the cuts. Like one of the cuts are sticking out and getting caught on it. But yeah, there. And so that's pretty much how you'll hold it together. And then when you want to put it on the hook, you can either just hook it in or use a couple holes and hook it in. But if you when you hook it in, make sure that the hook goes in and comes back out, just to make sure it's more secure, especially if it's a barbed hook, which usually it is. Um, so I'd hook it a couple different places. Sometimes I'll hook it at the top, and sometimes I'll just hook it in the middle. It all really just depends on how I really feel like I want to do it. And then how this works is you can just get a couple of sinkers or some gravel or something and just dump it in there, and then it'll go through the pop hole, the top of the pop bottle hole, and then you'll put some bait in there, and then what'll happen is the fish will, smell it through the holes and then everything. So they'll generally, what I see is they'll swarm around back here, but then some of them will like come to this side, and then they'll swim, and then because of the way the top of the bottle is shaped, which is now inside out, it's going to funnel them to the inside. And then they're not too smart, so generally when they try to swim away, they don't find this little hole, so they'll get trapped up in here. And, just leave it out for a few minutes, an hour. I even leave mine out overnight sometimes. If you're trying to catch minnows, you can pretty much put anything in there as bait. I usually put hot dogs, because the smell gets out and it's meat, so they'll love it. But also, like right now, I have a 1.5 liter bottle, and I cut up some bluegill and just threw it in there. The head, the tail, the intestines, and then like midsections. Just cut them all up and then threw them in there. And I'm catching lots of minnows. So that's pretty much how it works. Maybe in the future I'll make a video of how to actually use it. I don't know.